It's another busy week here in the kitchen garden. We're trying to outsmart the flea beetles, getting the autumn garden planted, sorting through the onion and garlic harvest, and turning 3 courgettes into one rather delicious lunch. Morning all, it is 6 a.m. in the morning and I'm out here super early because we need to sort out this flea beetle issue. So I've bought some nematodes and I'll just quickly show you the beds I'm going to treat and we'll get on with it. I pre-watered all of these beds last night. So we've got this corner bed and this bed where we took out the turnips last week. And I'm also going to do the end of this bed where the spinach and lettuce is, and this area where the beetroots are, simply because they'll be coming out soon and I'll be replanting. So the packet actually makes up to 10 watering cans. So let's go get it mixed up. Well, this is where I have a little confession. I had filmed myself sowing this entire bed yesterday, talking you through everything I'd planted, but then I managed to delete the whole afternoon's footage. And of course, I didn't label a single thing. I know I definitely sowed 2 rows of fennel, some more Eskimo carrots, possibly some lettuce, and definitely some pak choi because I was worrying about the flea beetle. But it'll be a little bit of a mystery, so we'll just have to see what germinates. What do we think, Mon? Do we like being up this early? It's not very good being up at the crack of dawn, is it? Right, now that all of these are completely dry, it's time for me to sort them out. Normally I plait the ones that are whole, and any that have split I break up into cloves and put in my garlic jar that I've got in the kitchen and use those first. I do want to save a few this year as well. I am going to save probably the biggest bulbs. I have ordered some new ones for the autumn, but I want to do a comparison to see if my own saved bulbs perform better. There's nowhere near enough garlic here, is there? I'm probably going to aim to grow twice as much for next year. We only had the one raised bed last autumn, so it was all the space I had basically to grow. I'm just going to keep 2 of them to redo next year. I will cut off the roots though. So I'm going to make a mess, but what you don't want to do if you're storing is damage the base plate. These kind of ones are going to just get chopped up and put into my garlic jar. So the next one needs to lay here and join this so that I can wrap this one over the top. This will be the worst example of a garlic plait you've ever seen, but you know, it keeps them together, that's the main thing. And you can pull them in a bit tighter as you go. Right, so the next thing to come over is this one. And then it's just a case of plaiting the very dry stalks together. There we go, 1 garlic plait. Bit messy. Now for the onions. Now it is a messy job, you do want to do this outside. Right, same again really. I'm going to save the biggest ones, or some of the biggest ones anyway, as seed, and the rest I'm going to try and plait. I've never actually plaited shallots before, so I don't know if it's possible because the leaves are much finer. These are way bigger than the ones I actually planted last year. It's been a really good year for them. It'll be interesting to see if mine grow better than the babies that they're going to send me, because the ones they sent me last year were about this size and it grew all of these in comparison to, say, this one, which is one of mine. So that, in theory, should grow more shallots per bulb. If anything, it's easier to plat shallots because the stems are finer. So you're basically adding a new shallot to the centre each time. Gosh, that's a big one. It's almost the size of a small onion, that one. Right, I'm not going to make it any longer because some of the original stems are now getting too short to plat. So I'm just going to close this one off and make a separate one with the rest. That looks okay, doesn't it? Well, here we go. We have got one full plat of garlic with 2 bulbs for planting. I've kept 6 of the largest bulbs of the shallots on one side for planting too. I've made 4 plats and they came out really well. I was really pleased with those. And these ones are ones that the stems were too short to plat together, so we will use those ones up first. I've also brought out my onions. I was a little surprised to find that some of them are actually starting to rot. And this one is absolutely disgusting. There is no smell quite like a rotting onion, is there? Several of them had started to go rotten under the surface. Now, I can only assume that is my fault for not turning them enough. These ones are fine. These ones were just starting to go over, so I think there's enough good onion left on some of them to actually chop them up and use them. I think it's just been too warm in the garage because it's obviously been so hot. They have been on a wire rack, so they've had airflow, but it's been warm air. Morning all, it is now the next day. I've given the nematodes at least 24 hours to get to work. So fingers crossed they're doing their job now. So we've got space in this bed, which I re-watered again last night just to be sure it was damp. Once they're on, you have to keep it moist apparently, which is quite hard in this weather. I've also got some very erratic germination of my autumn king carrots. The flyaway have done well, they've just flown away basically, so I need to sow a few more seeds in there. Morning Bonnie, how are you today? Are you good? Are you good? You're going to come with me to the falling down shed and the big bed? Pollen shimmering in the sunlight. That's good. More tassels are opening, so that's good news. It's all looking really lush at the minute, despite the weather. It's actually got a little bit of a nip in the air this morning. It's feeling a bit autumnal. Today, oh no, what is going on there? Oh, please don't tell me that's dying. Phew. I think it just needs a little bit of support. I thought it had been snapped off or chewed or something. So this bit that we prepared yesterday, I've raked it out. That has nematodes on it too. I'm going to today plant the wongbok. Now, fingers crossed, this area up until now hasn't had flea beetles, so I won't know if the nematodes are working or not. But I am going to cover it because of the butterflies. But first, I need to go and open up the greenhouse. This greenhouse is not doing the greatest. I don't know why. We seem to have a lot of black tomatoes that just are not getting soft. They are like little bullets. They're definitely behind on the tomato front. As you can see, Doug's added some of the old wooden planks around what was a dumping ground, basically. This whole area will eventually get decked and then join on to a fruit cage. One thing that has happened, we have a new hook. Reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean for some reason. Right, we'll just get the greenhouse open because it's starting to warm up in the sun at least. I get my solar panels out. These solar panels I had from my motorhoming days. We've got an EcoFlow and solar panels, and while it's been sunny, I've basically been charging up my EcoFlow to run the fan for free. Believe it or not, just last week, wasn't it? I cut back loads of leaves off these tomatoes and it's just turned into a jungle again. But I've opened the blinds to halfway on the ones that have opening windows to let in a little bit more light to try and ripen some of these tomatoes. They've suddenly started. I think it's because it's cooled slightly. I know that seems weird because you would think that tomatoes would like it really hot. It's been getting up to over 45 degrees in here on the sunny days, so it's too hot. I've had the fans on, I've been misting, I've been damping down the gravel, but yeah, it's just stressed them a little bit, I think. The sun should keep it going. Okay, so solar running the fan, which is a huge bonus. Let's find those cabbages. Doug managed to mulch the blackberry bed yesterday, so that's protected from the sun. Flowers are actually still doing really well despite the weather. Let's get these planted. And I'll just give you a good look at those because there's not a single hole in them. And then we'll check on them next week and see how they're doing. I don't think I'm going to fit all of them in here because I've got the kale as well. I'm only going to put 3 in a row, the same as the broccoli. Firm them in, and I will put a cabbage collar around the bottom. I bought some new ones from Gardening Naturally, and apparently, I didn't realise when I ordered them, they've got copper coating on them to help protect from slugs as well. They look different because they're white on one side, but it says to put dark side upwards. So anyway, let's see. They're better than the other ones I had because they're tighter fit around the middle, but they should go around anyway because they're flexible. Okay, collar and cover. Next to that, I'm going to do a row of turnips. I've got a new packet, but they are the same variety I grew last time, Purple Top Milan. One thing I know is that flea beetle do not like wet conditions. So watering is your friend if you haven't got a hose pipe ban, which we haven't at the moment. I seem to spend the majority of my time watering these days. Well, that is far from ideal. So until the EnviroMesh comes, that is just going to have to do. I might actually get some cabbages out of this one, hey. Now, I did say I was going to add a few more carrot seeds. These are the Autumn King ones that just didn't germinate. I don't know whether it was the heat. So they've had a good water. I'm prepared this time because there are flea beetle in that bed. This has been treated. I have got the plastic frame that was over near the bed and the mesh is ready. I've already pulled one flea beetle off these radicchio. So I need to get them in the ground as quickly as possible. Everything seems to be bothered by flea beetle at the moment. And alongside that, I'm going to sow some Mabuna. Now, mainly because I accidentally watered the packet. So they really do need to go in the ground now. sure I like this style of gardening. I'm feeling under pressure from so many pests at the moment. The butterflies are hovering around me and the flea beetle are jumping as soon as you move. It's not very relaxing. Hopefully, with the nematodes and all this moisture and the net, we might actually get something harvestable. Get some pegs to peg it down with. Okay, job done. Let's see, was it worth my effort? One thing that is doing exceptionally well is this tomato. It was one of the possibly not going to ever get planted ones that got pushed to one side in the greenhouse for a while. I just thought, well, let's try and see. So yeah, I threw it in and it's gone bonkers, but it does need a few leaves and side shoots removing, so we'll do that next. Actually, another thing that's suddenly taken off are the sweet peas. I was all ready for chopping them down, to be honest. I removed all the dead pods and there was barely a flower on them. But then the weather cooled from 35 to 25 and they suddenly took off again. So I'm really pleased to see that many flowers. Let's tackle this tomato because this arch is getting a little bit overgrown as well now. This one is getting to the point that I really cannot get through it without getting a face full of leaves. Get a wire attached and tie that in and that's the job done. Right, let's do something a lot more fun than tackling bugs and pests. I'm going to harvest these sugar snap peas. The interesting thing about these peas is they are nowhere near as sweet as the ones I sowed earlier in the year. They are a different variety. These ones are delicate and I think my early ones were gnarly. I don't know whether it's the variety that's less sweet or the time of year and the heat that's caused that, but they'll still be delicious in a stir fry. I'm just wondering if it would be better to pull the whole plant out. They don't seem to have any fresh flowers on them and they're not as sweet as I was hoping. Yeah, I think I'm going to pull the whole plant and strip them off and then I've got space to plant some new things. I think that might be the lot. Oh no, there's one hiding back there. Just one. That's quite a few, hey? Nothing like a little gardener's snack while you're wandering around, hey? Loving these little green disc patty pans. They're really sweet, good size. As you can see in here we've got some mashed potato squashes growing. We've also got another courgette. Not quite as excited about them now as I was when they first started fruiting. I think we might get one of these lettuces too. This is Tom Thumb. Let's take that one as well. It looks nice, doesn't it? I'm going to take all these ingredients into the kitchen so that Doug can make us something delicious for lunch. This is half the garden vegetable boulard. Hello, Trouble. How are you? Are you okay? Yeah. You've got your sister for company. Yeah. How you doing, Bells? Are you okay? Yeah, lots of waggy tails. It's time for a drink, I think, isn't it? Time for a drink. Let's have a little sit down. Right, even though it is overcast, it's exceptionally humid and warm today. So I'm just going to sit here and have my drink after such a fabulous lunch. But I think that's it for this week's video. So thanks for watching. See you all next week. Happy gardening, everyone.